Welcome back, Portugal Junkies.
Good morning.
We are so happy to have you back with us.
Absolutely.
If you are watching this, you might notice something very strange in the background.
We have clouds.
We have clouds today. Not rain clouds, but it's like overcast.
Still need my glasses on.
I know. It's still bright.
Yeah.
But when I pulled the curtains back on our window this morning, I was like, oh, wait, there's not blue sky out here?
I know. It's like we've just entered another dimension.
We're so spoiled.
It's like, oops.
But anyway,
Okay.
It's beautiful. It's like a high of 75 today.
That'll do
We are
nicely.
sitting out here on the terrace and recording some pods.
Yeah, cups of tea in hand.
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway.
Coffee. Come on, let's get real.
Tea or whatever. Okay.
All right.
Let's
The big one today.
let's get down to it.
Yeah.
Big one today is immigration and immigration changes. And ultimately, there are a lot of different things that have changed. But for our purposes, and not to confuse ourselves or anybody else really, because we're not trying to give advice, we are offering an opinion of what happened to us and how things have happened and impacted us. So we're going to basically talk about two main sticky points that have changed from our perspective, and many others, whether you're living here or whether you're looking to decide, is that somewhere I want to immigrate to? Is it immigrate to or emigrate to? I suppose if you're going from somewhere to somewhere, it's emigrate, and then you become an immigrant.
I guess. You're asking the English major, and I should know.
I was going to say, anybody with a better working knowledge of English.
I think emigrate, is the verb. Immigrant
is
with an I.
Yeah,
is the noun.
Is the noun to describe.
I think in general, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And my little sister is probably going to be like, you are an English major, and so is she. So she's going to correct me. So.
I mean, I'm an English major, but just not in the fine art. Finer elements, as we've discovered over the years.
Okay,
anyway,
immigration.
Immigration. Biggest one. You may have seen it, heard it. Essentially changed from 5 years to 10 years in order to apply for your citizenship / passport.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
And so that affects, by and large, everybody that is a non-EU, non-Portuguese country.
Yeah. So like people coming from Brazil
would now have to hit a 7-year marker.
Right.
Whereas we, as non-EU citizens, have to hit a 10-year marker. So that was the first
before you apply.
Before you can apply, and then however long it takes after that. And then the second biggest sticky topic has been that originally the clock started under the 5-year regime. The clock would have started when you showed or expressed interest,
which would have been our interview,
right,
with VFS.
Correct.
Back in the day, before we even got a visa.
Now it's changed to, or it sits at, the clock starts when you receive your first residency card, your TRC, temporary resident card. And unfortunately, as everybody's quite familiar with, AIMA still have a backlog, though I think they're getting better.
I do too. I'm going to give them some credit. But
it's still a huge, horrible sticking point for thousands of people.
100%. And I think that's where you've got some critics, and we will go into all of this too, because we wanted to share what are the changes, but also like, what's the reaction? What was our reaction, and what we've come to kind of land on? But
I think that it's, there are many other things, I'm sure, that would hit a different style of couple or family with the changes.
Sure, it affects everybody differently.
Right. And so, this is with a pinch of salt. This is, as I said at the beginning, this is our experience. This is our impact.
Yeah.
Or the impact on us.
So when you think about those two big changes, and they're not the only changes, but the ones that have affected us, because you guys are following along with our life here.
And thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Basically, the main issues with these changes are not necessarily about the timing and the need for Portugal to implement some changes with immigration policy. It's really about, there is no transition plan and there's no what you would call grandfathering, right? There's none of that implemented at this time or even discussed at this time for people who have already been here for a certain period of time.
Yep.
So that was my first reaction was, wait a minute.
That was a knee-jerk reaction.
Wait a minute.
What the fudge?
So we entered under certain rules, and now you're changing the rules in the middle of the game. So we'll come back to our reactions. But I think that's a main fallout of that first change of 5 to 10 years, or 5 to 7 years, depending on where you're coming from. But also the idea that the clock is starting when you get your first card. And we know people that have literally been here for a year before they even get their first card.
And I'm
because
sure
of the AIMA.
With a longer time frame.
Correct. So it doesn't, I think when you look at the changes, the changes are the changes. I think what you might see some critics about this, especially immigrants over here who have already moved, talking about and critiquing with this, are those results from those changes. It doesn't feel very, I don't want to say fair because that makes me sound like I'm whining. It doesn't feel like the people who had moved were considered already.
I think you could look at it as, you're sold a particular item to work in a certain way, and it doesn't. Right,
and it changed, and there was no consideration of keeping that path.
So,
the same.
Whilst when it was sold, it wasn't misrepresented because it was truth, and it was what it was at the time. The fact that there was no consideration given to those people who had already uprooted, changed their lives, committed, paid taxes for X years, all of those things, to become a valuable part of the fabric of the society that you live in.
Right.
To have that rug pulled, it certainly has left and continues to leave, I'm sure, a lot of people
feeling
with a lot of bad flavours in mouth. And you see it on Facebook forums, it's like, well, that's it, fuck it, I'm off. Because I don't want to get lied to again.
Okay.
Because who's to say it's not going to happen again? And quite rightly, who's to say it's not going to happen again?
Right. So I will say, I think our first initial reaction, because we had heard that these changes might be coming, right? But when you move to a new country and you're trying to just understand how government even works in the new country, and so we've learned a lot with that about who has power when, how vetoes happen, how the constitutional court comes into play. So it's been a huge learning experience for me. But I think our initial reaction, I'll just talk about mine. I felt like at first, when the changes started happening, I felt for sure there would be some sort of transitional program. And we even did a Substack live Q&A, and somebody came after me because I said that. Because I said, I'm pretty sure that it will be okay, because we were talking about us and our experience, and that it will be okay for us because I'm pretty sure they'll do a transitional program. And even talked to a couple of our professional partners to say, what do you think? And at the time, that was their opinion as well, because in the past, when Portugal has implemented anything that was a negative effect to someone, it favored a transitional program. And so then when it didn't, I was like, okay, that's a tough pill to swallow. And I think at first I had some pretty it felt bad. Yeah,
there were some dark thoughts going on.
It felt bad because I think of what you were saying earlier. It feels almost like, it felt at the time, at the beginning, like a bait and switch. And because there are plenty of people who will say, look, you've set this up over the past 10 or 12 years. The Portuguese government set it up so that it was an attractive thing for immigrants to come here.
Yeah.
Like, you did that because you wanted immigrants to come.
Yeah.
You wanted the boost of
into the economy,
all of that stuff, right? And so there's no argument there. That was actually, now, should they have thought about it more long term? Maybe, right? Because they're having to course correct some things. And I guess I just, in the long term, was wondering at first, like, well, what happens later if we are here we hit our 10 years and then they change the milepost again?
Yeah.
Like, what is that about? And so I did have those initial reactions, not going to lie. And I didn't really know what to do with them because generally I'm pretty positive. I assume the best in people, and probably to my detriment, even
at least until they show you wrong.
Right. So it was a struggle for me, and I think that I don't know, I'll ask you, did you feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's, you sort of open up those conversations that we had in those days after it happened. And it's a case of, well, okay, yes, it's shit. It's really
not to our favor.
Poor performance of like however they've decided to make this work. But in the long run, if we're looking 5 years, 8 years, 9, 10 years ahead of where we sit today, even today recording this, what does that 5-year extra mean for us? And I think that was the biggest thing. Because if you can get over the hurdle of you bait and switched me, if you can get over the hurdle, and again, for anybody that's on a golden visa, I don't know where to go with that because that must be absolutely horrific.
We'll come back to it.
Come back to that. But it's like after 5 years, and so under the original one, after 5 years, you'd get your opportunity for citizenship, you'd get your opportunity for passport. What are you going to do with it? Well, I'm a UU quotes citizen now. I can go and live where I want. Well, isn't that kind of bait and switching on Portugal as well? Because if you chose, not that we did, but if one chose Portugal at the beginning because it had a 5-year, as opposed to many other countries that had 7, 8, 9, 10, and some, I guess, maybe longer or never. If you chose it for 5 years and now that's been taken out from you, then was it really the right thing for you anyway? Because, and again, I'm not looking to have an argument with anything or with anybody.
Somebody's going to come after us.
But somebody's going to come after you for it because it doesn't fit their feeling about it. And that's completely fine. That's your feeling. Mine is, if, straight speaking, if you applied for your 5-year Portuguese because it was 5 years, and now you're not going to get it because it's going to be another 5, maybe at least, then honestly, you were kind of being a bit of a asshat about it. You were doing the thing they're trying to now stop. Put in place to stop.
And I'm not saying that that's their only reason for doing it, but there are people who, and again, let me preface this. I think in the big picture, we've had time to process this, and like you said, we've had to really think, like, yeah, that can feel not so great and make me a little bit like, ooh, what happens if they do something like this again?
Yeah.
I think about the comparisons and who wants to do this, but like, think about immigrants in the U.S. The shit is pulled from under them constantly, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's the state of immigration, unfortunately, across the world. And I feel like when you decide to become an immigrant, you kind of take that with everything else good that comes from it. That it can be a bureaucratic
minefield,
and you just don't know.
Here's the thing. Most people I know would move abroad tomorrow if someone put those steps in front of them and helped them execute it. That's exactly what I do now with She Thrives Abroad as a Move Abroad coach. Our coaching program helps you decide where is best for you to move based on your biggest priorities, and then we create a clear roadmap that is customized specifically for you, your family, and your situation. We also offer something that is so cool and so important here, and that's the job search. We've doubled down on our career resources to help clients find that job that will help them get moved or help them develop other income strategies to help them move abroad. So, if you want to move abroad within the next 9 to 12 months and have been considering Portugal, Spain, or the Netherlands, send me a DM on our Instagram at Portugal Junkies or email me at portugaljunkies@gmail.com.
If you haven't traveled in beautiful Portugal yet, what are you waiting for? You are missing out big time. Iconic beaches, delicious wine, centuries of history, and honestly, some of the most beautiful people that you will ever meet. Why do you think we moved here? So, when you're ready, we are ready to help you plan the most perfect customized Portugal itinerary just for you, and more importantly, how you like to travel. Family trip with the kiddos, lazy girl travel, history buffs, foodies, combinations of all of those, we got you. After exploring Portugal since 2022 and then immigrating here, we're really excited to build travel plans for you that help you see this gorgeous, special place by understanding the way that you like to travel. Book a free call with us right now on our Stan store at stan.store/PortugalJunkies, and we'll talk through your ideal trip and start planning your customized Portugal itinerary. You'll even get your final itinerary on an app to use during your trip for easy access right on your phone while you're here. Remember, adventure is a verb, y'all. We're excited to help you plan yours.
So my bigger thing about it now is that we've had time to process, is understanding it reaffirmed our intent.
Yes.
Our intention was never to come here as a stopping point anyway, but when you move from the U.S. and you're going to a new place, how are you to know until you do it, right? How are you to know that it's your place? You can have a good idea that it meets like all your...
Everything.
But like until you get there, how do you know? And so I can see how it's frustrating for some where, you know, let's say you've shown up, you chose Portugal over another EU country, for example, because you liked the cultural aspect, you liked the things that Portugal can give you. But that bonus was that 5-year period of time, and then you would have a passport and understand that you would have other options. Right? It's not a bad strategy to have. It's just that now that has changed, you know, we've really had to look and go, okay, well, does it really affect us?
No.
And we've come to the conclusion that it doesn't, because we love it here, because we feel like this is our place, and because we are enjoying the culture and the language and the welcoming people and the climate and all the things that we rave about on this podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yes, does everybody want more opportunity to live in different places? Sure. Is it something we'd actually do? I'm not convinced.
Not.
So we just had to go from like being butthurt to what does it really matter for us?
Right.
I know that it matters big time for a lot of people, and it's valid. To me, I do feel like, you know, it's okay if you were coming over here or you've already come over here, there's no transitional regime for you, and you're having second thoughts. I get that, especially if you're a young person and you don't know where you're going to want to spend the rest of your life.
Right.
I have a client who is retiring, and we are helping him move to Portugal in the fall. He could care less about this. Like, it's not a thing that was even on his radar, because he doesn't ever intend to get citizenship. It's just not a thing for him. So I think it's just an individual...
It absolutely is an individual feeling and set of circumstances.
I recognize all of the spectrum of all of those feelings and responses and what you choose to do and what you don't choose to do. But for us... we had hoped and intended that we did our research, we came here, we felt the place, and it was like, we think that this could be a place where we could stay.
Yep.
And that has proven true for us.
Yep.
So this is not affecting us as much as some others.
This isn't like now, now we need to sort of pivot to
like we're
any other
moving
country.
and we're starting another immigration process somewhere.
So where's the next place we can go to that's got the shortest, no. It's just not in our scheme of plans.
Yes, but I get it. I get all the range of reactions because they're, most people I know come with good intentions. It's not necessarily just like a purposeful like stopping point to pick up a passport and then move on through.
Then go on to the next one.
I know that there are probably a lot of people out there who are, but like of the people that we know,
right,
that was never the intention.
Yeah.
So it's been up and down.
It was a bit of a roller coaster at the beginning. I think it's sort of tempered out now to more of a cruise along the river.
And I tell you, I feel like this is what this whole move abroad has really done for us. Well, for me, I'll speak for me. I am a much more...
You're not going to speak for me? Jesus.
God.
Hang on a minute, where's my diary?
Yeah. How much more patient and laid back I am.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this confidence of it'll work out because it always works out.
Because it does.
And that's a hard place. That's been a hard place for me to get to in my life. Like I can look back at certain moments of my life and be like, that was the exact opposite of how I felt. I felt like the world was coming to an end about something. And like here and going through this and doing the move and navigating things that we just are uncomfortable with all the time, it like strengthens this confidence muscle of like, everything is going to work out no matter what. And I don't know what that looks like, but I just know that it's going to work out.
Yeah, I agree.
So, it's just been up and down.
Yeah. But it is, again, everybody will do their own research for their own needs.
Yes.
And you absolutely have to. It's not a question of, should I? It's a question of you must. Because not only does it cost a lot of money to do this, like to emigrate, it also costs a lot in heartache, in being away from people you love and all the rest of it.
I've been in my feelings a lot this week.
And we've gone through all of those feelings and such. So yeah, we know that everything comes with a cost. But I think this change in the immigration, it leaves no difference to us. It leaves us with no difference of how we want to track.
Right. I think, ironically, a negative effect immigration policy to us has actually made us
think about, is this? And it is.
Right. Like, be more confident that, you can be tempted by many countries. But do any of them bring to us what this country does right now and where we sit right now? And we literally talked about this. Like, let's have a very candid conversation. What would Italy bring us that Portugal isn't? And what would like
Good
any
meats.
of these countries? I mean,
Good
what
meats.
would France? I mean, all the things. Like, I think it does make you have a conversation differently, and then it just made.
But isn't that the whole point, though?
It's true.
It brings conversation to the front.
Yeah.
Conversations that may not have happened because nothing changed.
Right. Or it's almost like a check-in. Like, yes, we talk about how much we love it here every day and all the things, but it's like, okay, can you still see yourself here in 10 years, 15 years? Do you think that if we buy a property, it will be our forever property? Like those kinds of things. And I think that, I don't know, I find it kind of interesting that something that a legislative and a policy that has affected us negatively on paper has actually made us more confident that Portugal is our place. And maybe that's part of what they want to happen. They want the people that want to be a part of this culture and love it for all the reasons that the locals love it.
Yeah,
Stay.
Absolutely. I think it is one of their tactic way. I don't know of drawing out the people, the people that moved for that passport, moved for that citizenship. And I think it's, whether it was a reason behind doing it or it was just a added
bonus.
advantage
Yeah.
of like, oh, that was a repercussion of, who knows?
Yeah, and the thing is, when I think about when we were looking at Portugal and considering moving here, I really don't remember having many conversations about the citizenship other than,
Hey, look.
well, that'll be nice.
Yeah. That's
But
something
it certainly
can be.
wasn't like I was going and Googling which
How soon
countries,
to get a passport,
right,
citizenship.
which is not a bad thing for you to research if you are, right? But what I learned when this stuff came down, I was like, they're basically getting on par with other countries.
Yes. Yeah, I think
that,
that's
I mean, there are
right.
some that are maybe 7 years versus 10 for Americans, and people that are non-EU and non-Portuguese speaking are 7, right? But like most everybody else is 10 years here, right? So like that comparison in Italy or wherever, it's rarely less than 10 years.
Right.
There are a few countries that have a less than 10 years. So I think that was probably part of the decision as well, where it's like, let's get on par with other countries in that. But again, I totally understand it if somebody is frustrated and upset with this change that hurts them,
Yeah, because
technically.
it's got to,
or hurts your plans.
It's got to be a massive upheaval.
Yes.
Especially if you've invested a ton of money.
Well, and this is, we didn't, like we said, we come back to Golden Visa. Let's talk about it really quick.
Go on really quick.
So back in the day, not since 2023, but before 2023, the Golden Visa program was tied to real estate. You could invest, I think it was buying certain properties, usually more rural properties, $250,000, if I'm not mistaken, something like that, and higher, and that got you a visa. Okay, so somebody is looking at and saying, I can invest $250,000, and you basically, I mean, you're buying a piece of property, but you're also like, that's a $250,000 ticket to have my citizenship in 5 years.
Yep.
Now, whether that is true or not for everybody, right? Everybody has their different motivations, but that is what was being sold.
Yeah, that was a pay to play.
It was a pay-to-play situation. You're seeing it in other countries too that are like the hot ticket, right? That have, and so you have to like be aware that it feels like my research has shown me in the past that countries that do this, they will change it in 10 years, 12 years, whatever, because they've opened the spigot or something. Like it's
All
like
that
they're
glitters
having
is
to
not
correct.
golden,
Right.
as they say.
But now, so think about those people. They have invested a lot more money than we have.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right? We just moved here, right? What was our expense to move here? But those folks have either done the Golden Visa through real estate prior to 2023, or now
It's
the only
500.
way to do it is like a $500,000 like investment in like bringing some of your investments over. Yeah. That's a pretty high ticket. Now think about it. If somebody did that 6 months ago under that regime, and now they've changed the rules. There is a lawsuit already pending, class action, like so many people, and with specifically the Golden Visa situation. So I don't know how all that's going to play out, and we'll see how it plays out.
But because it may also translate, if depending on how fast or how long that whole lawsuit takes, and it's written up as it's going to take a long time because they do. It makes you wonder. Well, are regular immigrant citizens, like
non-Golden
me
visa
type, non-GVs,
going to benefit?
Well, no. Are they gonna sort of clamour together and organise their own class action?
Oh, you mean non? Yeah, I'm
Like
sure that's already
D7,
happened
D8
too.
style.
I'm sure that's already happened as well.
Yeah, I've not seen anybody, but it's definitely not as reported as widely as that. But again, different horses with different
It's
results.
a choice thing.
It's definitely a choice. It's a life choice. Good grief, it's a life
You're
choice.
so funny. Well, hopefully that is like a summary of the most recent, because we could have come on here a lot earlier and digested this, but honestly, it's taken a long time for them to actually land on what is
back and forward on that.
Yes, and then we actually had a presidential election in there too, so that was paused. A lot of this stuff was paused until the election results came in. Okay, and then now this president is weighing in with his veto or not veto, or sending it to constitutional review and all those things. So it's been a long time of them trying to land on something. But May 2026 was when it was official, and now the next 90 days, it sounds like they're talking about how to implement certain things. So I think there might be some changes to when you apply for your citizenship, like what the requirements are other than language. Like what cultural things that do they expect you to know? What does that look like? Is it a test? Is it a, I don't know. And so there could be some things that are coming down the pike about that. But again, that's so far off for us now. It doesn't. Yeah,
it's not even worth thinking about.
Right. Other than learning Portuguese. Like I will figure out the rest.
Keep doing the way we're doing.
That's right.
That's all we can do.
So we would love to hear your comments. If you want to come for us, fine, but don't expect a nice reply.
I was going to say, don't expect that I won't bite back.
I say that, but our fans and our listeners are usually very sweet to us. There's trolls that come for us once in a while.
And it's not just on the podcast. It's like on Instagram, TikTok.
Oh yeah, it's more like that.
Yeah, it's more those people. Yeah. Because if you're here now in the last, now into 20 odd minutes of listening to my dulcet tones, then I think you probably have some sort of agreement with
or relationship with
the way that we think. And while it may not be the agreement of everybody, but at the end of the day, we don't do this to poke at things.
But we do have opinions.
Celebrating our opinion.
Because quite frankly, my biggest opinion about this, honestly, is the world has tried to close its borders to people so much more recently, and it angers me. The idea that we are only supposed to stay where we happen to be born is just stupid. Yeah. And so I will always be on the side of the immigrant, especially becoming one myself. So let that be clear. But I do understand.
Oh, you don't think it was?
What?
Clear beforehand.
Touche. But I do, if you have any questions for us, I think that's obviously where we land.
Absolutely.
But,
love to interact with it.
Sometimes it's just you have to process things and get out of your initial feelings about it and think about how it's actually going to affect you and your decisions or our decisions and that kind of thing. And I think that's where we've gotten to with this. So
excellent.
If you have questions, let us know.
Please let us know.
But that's the jam. That's the immigration jam.
I think we'll wrap that one up.
We'll see you next time, you guys.
All right, you take care. Have fun.
Cheers, y'all.
Day. Bye.
For more content about our move, the visa process, Portuguese culture and destinations, and tons of support resources for your own decisions and potential move abroad, follow us at Substack, TikTok, and Instagram at Portugal Junkies.
Stay in touch and help us reach more people by subscribing here and following us there.
Cheers, y'all!